Hello, Aquarians, welcome. This is your 1st of September 2020, the first 2 weeks from the 1st to the 15th. This is a overall general energy reading. It is a 5-card spread. So it's specific to the overall energy of this time period. And keep in mind that the cards may not resonate with everybody, and that's perfectly okay. Check your sun rising signs. You can check the crossovers, and any of those things can have some bearing on it. But it's a general reading for the overall collective of Aquarians. And if it doesn't resonate at all, that's perfectly fine. That doesn't have to. Sometimes it doesn't. So just be aware of that. And I'd like to welcome you and thank you to my YouTube channel, and thank you for viewing this video. It means a lot. And for those who've been around a while, understand that the YouTube algorithms are weighted heavily on clicking on the big three, which is clicking the like button, clicking the subscribe button, and clicking the notification buttons. Please feel to leave a comment if you like. Those are all important to the YouTube algorithms, and I would definitely help support my channel, so thank you in advance very much. With this, we have up here, I've already shuffled the cards and asked for the angels and spirit guides, their guidance when the cards were being shuffled, and these 5 cards and the 5-card spread came out. That was to save time. In the 5-card reading, this is your past influences. This has to do with overall energy, things that Aquarians were dealing with in the past 3 to 6 months. Sometimes it could be a residual, it could be still carrying over, it could have been completed. So in your past influences, you have the 5 of Pentacles. The second card is your present, the present energy that's going on with this time frame. And here you have the Judgment card. In the third card, we have, this has to do with your future overall energy around this time period. And in the future card, we have the Princess of Wands. In other tarot decks, it's called the Page, so they're sort of the same. So it's Page if you're used to other tarot cards. In this particular deck, it's called the Princess, and it's in the upright position for your future of this period. And the fourth card, it has to do with challenges that may come up in this time period. Challenges doesn't mean it will happen. It just basically means these are things that could come up, and to be aware of. And if you're mindful of them and recognize them in advance, if it applies, then you can sort of nip them in the bud and sort of make them peaceful. So in the challenge is the 10 of Wands. And in the last card is the outcomes for this time period of the overall energy things that Aquarians may be dealing with. And here we have the Death card in reverse. And keep in mind that the Death card is a good card. It does not mean literal death. We'll go over that in just a second. So, past influences. Here we have 5 of Pentacles. So let's see. Aquarians, I'm picking up here in the 5 of Pentacles. For the past influences, many Aquarians are dealing with financial loss and sort of poverty. Many Aquarians were hit with hard times, particularly as it relates to work, career, finances, and material possessions, perhaps. Some may have lost their jobs, their homes, or on the verge of it. The financial security is at risk. Many Aquarians were no longer feeling safe. Sort of, you're stripped away from what you're used to. It's a sort of eye-opening experience. Aquarians' egos, often can feel bruised in these times when this occurs. It's particularly in our culture when financial success equates or correlates to financial wealth. But in losing either, it can be a humbling experience. And we all know that the COVID-19 has affected many individuals within this time frame. So the upside of this is a minor arcana card. The upside of this particular card is that this is temporary. This experience that Aquarians may have been feeling in this past 3 to 6 months is a temporary card, and it's not a long-term impact. So the good news for Aquarians is that this will pass. What I'm picking up here is why it's sort of coming up in this time period for Aquarians is that the Five of Pentacles indicates many were feeling isolated and alone. And again, it makes sense because the COVID-19 and the isolation things in the beginning. It's across the board probably for a lot of people, but particularly for Aquarians, it's very key here that this is coming up. Many felt that they were left in the cold, or were wondering, is it going to get worse or is it going to get better? How can you get help? Challenges with applying for unemployment, or if you qualify for unemployment, or if your family members and friends were struggling just as much as you were. It was a major blow for many, and hard to comprehend. However, I'm finding that many Aquarians, I'm picking up many Aquarians who were sort of just wait for someone to come rescue you in some way, and that I feel that the Aquarians who were just sort of waiting for someone to come rescue them or a system to come rescue them probably struggled a lot more than the Aquarians who sort of took action and became proactive and who asked for help. And that may make common sense, but a lot of times people don't ask for help when it's the obvious. Some Aquarians may felt that they had to swallow their pride, or sort of let go of fear of rejection if they reached out for support. And I think those that reached out for support obviously will feel that they were supported. So again, the lesson here is that you might have reached out later, but the support was there all along, and you just sort of have to take that risk. But it was a troubling time, I feel, in there, sort of that past influences, and for some it may be still carrying over. And what I'm picking up here, when the Five of Pentacles it pops up here, it's highlighting sort of a lack of mindset. It symbolizes that perhaps there's a self-sabotaging behavior here, an ability to create sort of an abundance, because if the only focus is on what you lack, then what you lack is what you're going to get. And for those who aren't familiar with the laws of attraction, there's plenty of YouTube videos out here on it. Check it out about the laws of attraction, and when you're thinking sort of negative thoughts or I'm a victim or woe is me, then you attract that sort of energy, and unknowing or knowingly. So for those that were feeling more victimized or sort of just no one cares, that's probably what was most likely is what we were getting. And again, it's just the laws of the universe here. However, for those that were able to shift that energy and sort of look for sort of an evidence, or were able to sort of find the strength and the ability to sort of think positively and not panic, and sort of appreciate what you still had, and found gratitude in the blessings, in that it could always be worse, favored better. Over time, the positive aspects, when you focus on the positive, they will grow and grow and grow and sort of get better. And again, that's part of the laws of attraction. And for those that still are sort of feeling the downside of this is, I would strongly suggest that you look at videos on laws of attraction, because there's a lot of power in how we feel and think, and what we attract. So this can change. I'm also picking up that with the Five of Pentacles being here for you Aquarians, that for those that were fearing that you don't have enough, or that you may lose something important to you if it didn't happen already, or is unlikely, you may live in fear. And what this sort of again means that if you're living in fear of constant job, or there's no one left, or you'll be on the streets, or you're going to be homeless, or you can't pay your bills, or again, negative, that negativity is going to be attracted to you. And it is critical to turn those thoughts into, find things that are working for you, no matter how small they are. Find things that you are appreciative, and those that will change things for you. It will redirect that energy. It may not happen immediately, but it will redirect the energy. And I think for Aquarians who are able to do that, will be able to speak to that you were able to survive things, you were able to get through. The universe will take care of you if you're aware of those sort of things. And again, it may not make you a millionaire, but it will take care of you during this time frame. So I think some Aquarians were able to make that adjustment, and some Aquarians were just devastated, and sort of just fell through there. And it's unfortunate for everybody what was occurring here. Yeah. So in our present energy, we have Judgment. Now, typically, the Judgment Aquarian card is when it's here, and particularly here in your present. This is basically saying Aquarians it's calling you to rise up. It's asking you to embrace a higher level of consciousness, and to look for the highest good. Particularly those that were in this devastating period here, or are severely affected by COVID-19. For Aquarians here, if it's asking you to sort of experience a spiritual awakening, and spirituality is whatever it means to you. So that's left up to you to figure that out. But it's realizing that you're destined to be so much more. And again, it's sort of opening up your mind, and again, and perhaps many of you right now have already figured out the laws of attraction, and have been sort of doing the meditating and figuring out the right affirmations. And again, keep in mind that be careful what you ask for. So you have to really understand what it is that you're asking for. And there's a lot of videos on the proper way to do this. You have to feel good about what you're asking for. You can ask for a lot of money, but we know money doesn't buy happiness. So you have to, whatever you're asking for, you have to want it. You have to say that you want it. You have to feel good about what you're wanting, and it doesn't matter what it is. You have to feel good about it, and you have to feel happy that you have to envision that you have it. So you have to envision that you already have $1 million, and how good it feels, and why it makes you feel good. And you have to live that sort of before you even get it. It may not make sense, but that's a part of the process. You have to, and you sort of do meditate. If you haven't been doing that every morning, there's some great videos out there on laws of attraction that will help you during this time. And this card here is basically telling me for Aquarians that we're really devastated by this, that here's your opportunity. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. For Aquarians who were already sort of got the idea of this and sort of nipped it in the bud, you are probably doing well right now, and it'll take away a lot of the stress, and live for today, and not panic mode, and things will work out. There is a thing that you're the creator of your own reality, and that has a lot to do with it. You choose how you choose to feel, and you can choose to feel devastated, or you can choose to feel happy and good with what you have. And it makes more sense if you watch those videos, so I won't go into this right now, but it's worth it if in here. When the Judgment card is coming here, it's indicating that Aquarians, that you have to make a life-changing decision, but the decision is different than those associated with like a logical justice card. The justice card deals with more jurisdiction and sort of legal issues. Judgment here is about intuition and intellect, and for some Aquarians, you may be at a crossroads. You may be aware that any choice that you make will bring a significant change with long-lasting effects right now. So what this card is asking you to do is sort of turn into your higher self, trust your judgment, and know that you are on the right path. If you still need clarity on the situation, look to your past and your life lessons, and will guide you. Things are not as bad as we think they are. The Judgment pops up in a tarot reading, Aquarians, when you're close to reaching a significant stage of your journey, and many Aquarians may be at that stage. It's asking you to sort of review and evaluate your past experiences, and have you learned from them. It's kind of like putting the pieces of the puzzle together in your life, and that we take lessons, and we have good times, we have bad times, and we learn from them, and we fit them in, and we try not to we adjust. And life is full of adjustment and change. But they come together, and it will tell sort of a unified picture of your life story, Aquarians. And this is what this is basically, challenging you here with right now in your present. It's about the integration of a healing deep wounds, and that this is allowing you to put those pasts behind you. If you have regrets, if you have hurts, release them. They're not serving you at this point, so let them go. If you have found that an absolution, and you've cleared away any wrongdoings or regrets, and releasing any guilt or sadness from the past, no matter what it is, purge it. This is what this is about. Purge it. It doesn't serve you anymore. Release it, and you will feel totally different, and it will open you up to new experiences and new positive challenges. Aquarians, the Judgment card here suggests that you may find comfort in your struggles. And with others, and this is a time that instead of being by yourself, that you get with others that have similar circumstances. Except the key here, and I have to reiterate, the card here is the key here is you don't get with others to reminisce the bad things that happened. That does no good. If you get together with people who just ruminate, to just talk about the bad experiences, and you talk about your bad experiences, that's a contrast, and you're just reinforcing negative energy, and you're attracting negative energy. The more you repeat the bad things that happen to you and play that victim role, you're just, and people don't realize this, but you're just attracting negative behavior. It happened, let it go. What you want to tune that out, and what you want to be talking around the cooler or things is, what are you doing now? What can you do now? What's positive now? What's good now? Not about what happened or why it happened. None of that matters at this point. It's about where you are now, talking about what you can do, what solutions you have, how you can help each other. But it is not good to talk and reminisce about the bad experiences. That just reinforces negative energy. Keep that in mind. So, yeah, you're on a change here, Aquarians. This is your opportunity. And again, some Aquarians have maybe found that and are working on it. If you're the Aquarians that are still sort of in the digging deep and low, this is the card that's telling you how to get out of that, and that it's temporary. You will be okay. In our future card, which we had the Princess of Wands, or it's also known as the Page of Wands in other tarot cards, it's in the reverse. So when the Princess of Wands here is in the reversed position, it's typically about stirrings of something that's emerging within you, Aquarius, and it's telling me that perhaps you don't know how to turn it into action. You have an idea or a thought, and it's a seed of an idea or a general sense that something new is coming, but you're not yet able to express it to the world or get the full picture of it. What this card is saying here when it's in the reverse is, Aquarians, do not worry. You do not need to take any action yet. It's okay. The thought that you're having and the ideas that you're not quite able to express, it's a part of the process. And this card is saying is, don't rush it. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. In doing so, it could be detrimental, and it could do the opposite. So don't force anything at this. It's too early in the stage of formation. The lesson here for you, if you're feeling this sort of nudge here, is just play with the idea and let it grow. Don't force the idea. Don't force it. Write it down and just write down whatever comes to your head and sort of let it blossom. If you do that and just sort of play with it, the universe will bring it out towards you, and that's what you want. So again, the key here is, do not force the idea that you're having. Sit in a creative void and sort of allow it open up. Just allow the thoughts to come to you, and it will come. For other Aquarians, the other side of this card showing up here is that when it's reversed, that perhaps this is also saying that you've tried many new adventures or projects, but these have turned out not quite as you've hoped. They've either failed or never got past the planning stage. And you might be feeling that starting a new dream or hobby would lead to something bigger, but you realized that perhaps you took the wrong approach, or you started too fast or too quickly, or you didn't plan it out as well as it could have been, and it sort of stalemated. And that could be anything that you were working on. It didn't necessarily be a job, or it could be anything that you had an interest in that you were putting energy forward to, but they didn't formulate to what you were wanting. So the Prince of the Prince of Wands here, basically in reverse, is inviting you to reconnect with your original idea. Look at those other ideas that you had. If you were one of those that had those sort of ideas that you put out there and they didn't go anywhere, or they sort of got stuck, this is a chance to say, go back and re-look at them. See them with a different eye, and create a different vision, and look in alternative ways to express it. It will come to you. And it's saying that just because the original first eye didn't succeed does not mean it's a failure. And keep in mind that if you have thought of something, and something was of interest to you, part of the moment here is the journey, and you want to enjoy the journey. You want to keep the passion. Yes, you will meet challenges and stumbling blocks, but embrace them, and that's a part of the journey. This is to get what you want, is enjoying the process. If you have that much passion with it, you will enjoy the stumbling blocks, because you will get through them. It will make you wiser. You'll laugh about it later. You'll grow with it. But you want to keep your passion here, and don't give up. So this card here is saying, go back and relook at those, and identify the things that were important to you, and you will see them with sort of a different eye, or a different vision. I'm picking up, you'll find even a better way to express it, because your head's in a different place now. You'll see it from a different perspective, is what I'm picking up here. In the reverse here, it also indicates that there could be eagerness, for Aquarians to start something new, because it was hampered by too many complexities, or obstacles or opposition for some reason, from city, from family, to whoever, money, whatever. All those sort of things were just sort of put a stumbling blocks in, and you ended up, Aquarians, feeling a lack of motivation, and perhaps indecisive about going forward with it. Here, and again, you probably were worrying about it a lot, whether you can get your project or your idea up and running, or perhaps even questioning, were you weighed down by too many responsibilities and other troubles at the time. So this is saying that you may be allowing limiting beliefs and inner fears and anxieties get in the way of your achieving this goal that you have. So this card is basically saying, go back and relook at that, and address the fears that you may have had, address the anxieties. You might have been self-sabotaging in many ways, and now is giving you an opportunity to let those things go. If you were releasing hurts and angers and frustrations at the same time, and if you release those because they're not serving you, you're going to see this in a different perspective. I'm also feeling that again, this is about seeking a new path, and it's about a personal and spiritual discovery for Aquarians and for the larger collective. And again, spirituality is whatever you feel it is. But right now, I find that those that are choosing that are sort of keeping it private, and that's fine. You don't have to shout it to the world. It's whatever is important to you. It's find that inspiration. This is a time to find the understanding that comes with it, and and look within, and trust your intuition here, Aquarians, that you'll find the answers in you, that there is hope here, and it will be good. In our challenges, the Ten of Wands, this is going to be, this sort of says, Aquarians, that, again, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's about taking on extra burdens and heavier workload or greater responsibilities. And as you can see, it sort of carries in here that those were all those challenges that you had here that are, sort of hampered some Aquarians in being stuck, and some Aquarians have gotten through that. And so your challenges here, really for Aquarians, of all of this, is that there was challenges there, that there was the extra burden, there was that heavier workload, there was greater responsibility. Those things kind of weighed you down, and the financial issues will weigh you down, the job losses, whatever, all those sort of things will weigh anybody down, and made it tough for you. But the key here, it's saying, understand it's only temporary. And what this is saying is that you may have to put some energy into drawing a map of how you want to accomplish some things, but drawing up a map or a strategy or strategic plan to sort of how do you get out of this rut that you might be in, or looking at ways that you can have a path to sort of follow, will greatly benefit you. Mapping out some sort of map of what you need to accomplish, what you need to do to change whatever it is that you're wanting to change, this will reap rewards later. And this card is saying this for you. All you have to do is spend the energy in mapping it out and coming up with a strategy and weighing pros and cons. It's a little bit of work, but it will fall in place. This card is saying get help from friends or others that don't feel this is on your own. There are people that you can bounce this off of for free to sort of help you with ideas. So this is not a time to sit there alone in your room thinking, oh, it's only on me. Seek it out. Seek people, seek ideas and suggestions, and you'll get energized by that. It's about connecting to help you. Aquarians, when the Ten of Wands appears here, it sort of shows that you're unconsciously taking on the extra responsibility, and perhaps you're finding yourself feeling weighed down and exhausted and burnt out. And again, it's sort of self-sabotaging here. And even though it's you may have been used to or taught to or learned that you or expected to do so many things at once at the same time, it's adding extra pressure on life on you. So with the Ten of Wands here is basically asking you Aquarians who are doing this to stop and examine your current lifestyle and your work-life experience. If you've lost your job, it's a time to sort of reassess what it is that you want to do. It's about concerning yourself with the broader goals of what you want to do. Don't look at this as a failure. Many Aquarians may need to understand better time management, or identifying what the priorities are, and smart goals, so to speak. What can you, even for personal decisions, from moving to packing to whatever else, to shopping sometimes, all those things sort of add up. It's about having a plan and sort of organizing your day. That's what's critical here. And if you have lost your job and you're at home with COVID-19 doing nothing, it's probably making it worse. This is the time to put your mind to work and sort of spend that energy in mapping things out and planning things and having that mindset, because this is it's a great time to be able to do this if you use it wisely. So yeah, it's about just spending a little bit of time, a time each day, sort of identifying what goals of all the challenges you have, what are the goals that you want that will give you that sort of higher efficiency of freeing yourself, and also using quality rest and relaxation that you need it, and feel okay about it. Don't beat yourself up about this here. There is good news here with this. With the tens, of course, we know the tens by himself and tarot cards is about a completion of a cycle, and typically the Ten of Wands tells you that the end of a cycle is in sight, and that's good news. So this sort of bad news, that this cloud that's been over you, is the cycle is ending, and that is good to know for you Aquarians. So if you've been pushing yourself to your limits and working very hard, towards whatever goals, and they haven't been coming up as you expected, keep in mind, Aquarians, that now you are taking the final steps on the path to realizing your dreams. So with some fine tuning and some positive thinking and sort of reframing, that heap of exhaustion is going to dissipate, and you're going to have that aha moment, if we know what that is. It will come to you. You'll see a different perspective. Aquarians, the Ten of Wands here can show that even with the achievement of goals, the significant responsibilities and commitments that everybody has, including, especially when you're down in the dumps, and financially, and homes, and you've been experiencing those sort of things. But when you reach a point of completion, we often you need to be starkly aware of the duties that you have, and this is saying to sort of appreciate the milestones. Don't just focus on the ultimate goal at the end, whatever it is. That isn't what is needed right now. Take things in baby steps, and appreciate the baby steps. If you did 2 things today or 4 things and got it done, celebrate. And then what are the next 4 or 5 things? Celebrate. Milestones. You'll get through it. It'll make it more pleasant. It'll have more meaning, and pat yourself on the back, because that's usually the best way to handle in the situations when you're trying to change something. It's also when it's, again, if you have so many responsibilities that you've sort of taken on, this is about reprioritizing and asking yourself, what is it that you're doing, and why are you doing it, and who are you doing it for? And it's an opportunity to sort of say, if it's not something that's not benefiting you anymore, or it's not something that you have to do, it's been something that you've sort of just been doing or inherited doing and don't know why. It could be from a family obligation to something else. This is your chance to, if it's not serving you, let it go. Address it, identify it, think about it, strategize it, but weigh the pros and cons about all the things that you may be doing, and sort of go, what is it benefiting me, and why am I doing it, and what value does it have right now? And if you can't get rid of the whole responsibility, then maybe you can split the responsibility. But this is about time of evaluation. And with an evaluation, the inspiration and creativity will come. And from that, then you get a better idea of your goals and your visions about where it is that you want to be. And that's where your passion will come in, and that's where your energy is going to come in. So then again, you're in a short-term cycle here of this downside. It's going to change. The essential key for Aquarians who are experiencing this, is to delegate some of your responsibilities that you do not have to do, or let them go, and enjoy life. That's the key. In our outcomes card, as we said earlier, we have the Death card, and we show it in reverse. Now, if you're familiar with tarot cards, death does not mean literal death. In the upright version of if the card was upright, the Death card is about transformation, and typically refers to the needing to start over, or letting go of the past. However, in the reversed position, the Death card here typically means that you are on the verge of a meaningful change, and that's encouraging, particularly when you look at the rest of the cards here, that change is coming for you. And I think it's all pointing here. And this card here in your outcome is very clear, Aquarians, that in the reverse, it means a meaningful change is coming. However, if you're resisting it, you have to sort of do some self evaluation, self thought there. If some Aquarians may be reluctant to let go, and you may not know how to make a change that's needed. Perhaps you still sort of carry harmful viewpoints from the past, or other people's opinions that are interfering with this sort of opportunity, and because of that, there's a refusal. You're in a stagnant feeling, and you're feeling stuck or in limbo. The card here in the reverse for you, Aquarians, if this is resonating with you, is offering you the opportunity to embrace change rather than resist it. It's allowing you to see that there are wonderful possibilities that are available to you if you say yes to the change, and you welcome it and not fear it. Again, as we learn to sort of release our past and surrender to the present, again, it's letting go of things that are no longer serving you. That's the key message here I'm getting for this whole reading here, for many Aquarians, is let go of things that don't serve you. Support the process, and find an affirmation that fits you, and your future will become brighter. An example is, I embrace change in all forms. It could be as simple as that. Say that every morning Say it before you go to bed 5 times. It's simple as that, and you'll be surprised how subtle shift of your energy will change, and new doors will open, and you sort of see things in a different way. That's how simple this can be, and that fits in with the laws of attraction. On a deeper level, the death card in reverse, shows that some Aquarians are going through a massive personal transformation as well. Often it's more private and out of the public view. Perhaps families aren't realizing it, or friends may not realize it, but it can be a massive sort of personal transformation. But it's usually done in private, and those Aquarians that are experiencing this, you're releasing what no longer serves you, so that you can sort of make space for a new to emerge, and that's a good thing. It's about again, releasing and purging. This is your outcome. If you're able to get to this point of that release and purge, Aquarians, you'll be removing fear and limiting beliefs. You'll change habits that haven't served you, and you'll undergo sort of that physical purging and transformation. That will sort of spark a new energy, or that spiritual healing, and again, whatever spiritual means to you. The light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. And perhaps right now those Aquarians may be feeling this, but you're just not ready to share it, and that's okay. You'll share it when you're ready. And keeping it to yourself is wonderful. It's your story of your source of inspiration, and when you want to reveal it, you'll reveal it. And but it's coming. Your transformation is coming. This period of doom and gloom here is ending if you release the things that no longer serve you, Aquarians, and that is the overall energy that I'm picking up here for the first 2 weeks of September. So thank you, Aquarians, for watching this video, and I appreciate it. And thank you for coming to this channel, to my YouTube channel. That I definitely appreciate. And as I said earlier, I hope that if this resonates, that's awesome. If clicking the like button and clicking the subscribe and the notification buttons would greatly help me and support me with this channel and the YouTube algorithms. It would be wonderfully appropriate. Feel free to leave a comment, and we wish you well, Aquarians, and we'll see you for the last 2 weeks of September coming up. Thank you again. Take care.